The knock came so hard the spoon jumped out of her hand. It hit the counter, spun once, and clattered into the sink just as the baby started crying again. Maya Rowan stood in the half-dark kitchen of her tiny apartment, one hand still frozen in the air, the other gripping an almost empty can of formula so tightly the metal bent under her fingers. The fluorescent bulb above the stove buzzed like it was angry to still be alive. The walls were thin. The paint near the window had bubbled from last winter's leak. The clock on the microwave blinked 10:43, then 10:43 again because she'd stopped trying to set it months ago. Another blow hit the front door. "Ms. Rowan," her landlord shouted. "Tomorrow means tomorrow." Heat rushed up her neck so fast it made her dizzy. Behind her, from the second-hand crib wedged beside the couch, her 8-month-old son let out the thin, hungry cry that had been slicing through her chest all evening. Not loud anymore. Worse than loud. Weak. Maya closed her eyes for 1 second. Not now. Please not now. She tilted the formula can over the counter again, hoping for something. Anything. More than the pale dust clinging to the edges. Nothing. Her throat tightened. On the coffee table sat the pile of things she had been trying not to look at all night. An overdue power notice, a pediatric billing statement with a red bar across the top, a rent reminder written in blocky black marker, and Liam's inhaler beside a baby thermometer that hadn't worked properly in weeks. The baby cried again. Maya reached for her phone. Her reflection stared back at her from the dark screen when it lit. Tired eyes, hair twisted into a careless knot. The face of a woman who had become too practiced at pretending she was still in control. She unlocked it and opened her messages. Scrolled. Stopped on her brother's name. Her fingers hovered, then moved. "Hey, I hate asking again, but can you send me $20 for formula? I'll pay you back Friday. Liam's out." She stared at the message with that familiar, humiliating pressure in her chest. The one that came every time needs scraped against pride. Another cry from the crib. She hit send. Outside, the hallway felt quiet. Too quiet. That was when she noticed it. The thread looked wrong. Her stomach dropped. 1 digit off. "Oh no," she breathed. Not her brother. A number she didn't know. She typed fast, fingers clumsy now. "I'm so sorry. Wrong number. Please ignore that." From the couch, where he had fallen half asleep after crying himself tired, Liam stirred under his dinosaur blanket and made a small sound in his throat. Maya went to him automatically, smoothing a hand over his hair. He turned his face toward her touch, his lashes damp, his cheeks warm. "Mommy," he mumbled. "It's okay, baby," she whispered, though she had no idea if that was still true. "Go back to sleep." Her phone buzzed. She froze. "Unknown number. I think you meant to text someone else." Her face burned. "Of course." She typed back immediately. "Yes. I'm sorry. Please ignore it." Another buzz. "Is your baby okay?" Maya stared at the screen. A second message followed before she could answer. "I'm serious. Is he okay?" She looked at Liam. At the crib. At the formula can. At the dark kitchen. At the door that had just been pounded like she owed the whole building an explanation for being poor. Her instincts all said the same thing. Don't trust strangers. Don't explain yourself. Don't let desperation make you stupid. But hunger had a way of stripping life down to the ugliest truth. Caution was a privilege too. She typed, "He'll be okay. I just need formula. It isn't your problem. Sorry again." 3 dots appeared. Vanished. Returned. "Maybe tonight it can be." "What kind?" Maya let out a small, humorless breath. Was this a joke? A setup? Some bored guy looking for entertainment in someone else's worst moment? Still, she answered. "Gentle care sensitive. Blue label. But really, it's okay." Across the city, on the 48th floor of Blackwell Therapeutics, Gabriel Hart read the message twice. The boardroom down the hall was waiting for him. A billion-dollar acquisition was waiting for him. 6 executives, 2 legal teams, and an entire schedule engineered to the minute were waiting for him. He looked at the text again instead. Gentle care sensitive. Blue label. But really, it's okay. Something about that last line lodged itself under his ribs. Not dramatized. Not manipulative. Not asking for rescue. Just embarrassed, dressed as restraint. He stood, walked out of his private office, and told his assistant to delay the meeting. No one argued. People rarely did. 15 minutes, Mr. Hart? Evelyn asked. Longer. She blinked only once, which was the extent of her surprise. Of course. He took out a second phone, the private one almost nobody had the number to, and typed. Check your account in 2 minutes. And before you tell me it's too much, I know. Maya's phone buzzed before she could even process the message. Then buzzed again. She opened her banking app and stared. $500. Her breath caught. No, she whispered aloud into the empty room. No, no. Liam shifted in his sleep, and she pressed a hand over her mouth. Her fingers shook as she typed. I can't take that. That's too much. The answer came instantly. Can your son eat too much this week? That line did something to her she hadn't been prepared for. She hadn't cried when she lost her bookkeeping job 9 months ago after missing too many days for Liam's doctor appointments. Hadn't cried when she sold her mother's ring to cover daycare for a job that later disappeared anyway. Hadn't cried when Liam's father stopped answering calls and then, somehow, made her feel guilty for expecting him to. But this stupid, gentle line from a stranger reached somewhere she had been holding shut for months. She swallowed hard and typed the only thing she could. Thank you. She did not ask his name. He did not offer it. The next morning, light slipped through the cracked blinds and thin gray ribbons. Maya woke to silence, so unusual it scared her for one disoriented second. Then she saw Liam in the crib, standing up and chewing on the corner of his blanket with the quiet seriousness of a child who had survived the night and had no interest in thanking anyone for it. On the counter were groceries. She stopped cold. Bread, eggs, oatmeal, fruit, soup, diapers, a new can of formula. 2 actually. Baby medicine, juice, yogurt. Things she hadn't bought in so long, she almost felt like she was looking at someone else's kitchen. Her phone buzzed. How is he this morning? Maya stared, then looked at Liam, who was now kicking the crib rail and making little impatient sounds. Hungry, which is a good sign. A pause. That's a very good sign. She smiled despite herself. Small messages followed that day, and the day after. They weren't invasive. He didn't ask where she lived, didn't ask for pictures, didn't turn kindness into leverage. He asked practical things. Did he keep his bottle down? Has he had a fever today? Have you eaten? Or are you doing that thing mothers do where coffee becomes a personality? That one made a startled laugh escape her. She typed back before thinking too much. Coffee costs money. Personality is free. His reply came faster than it should have if he were truly as busy as a stranger with that kind of money ought to be. That sounds like someone who used to be good with numbers. She stared at the screen. How do you know that? Nothing came for almost a full minute. Then, lucky guess. Maya narrowed her eyes at the phone. It should have unsettled her more than it did. Instead, over the next few days, their messages kept arriving in those careful, steady intervals that slowly changed the shape of her evenings. He never pushed, never crossed into sentiment too fast, never treated her like a charity project. But he noticed things. You apologize too much. You always say it's okay before admitting it isn't. You sound exhausted even when you type like you're trying not to. By the end of the week, she knew 2 things about him. He was intelligent, and he was lonely. By then, he knew more about her than he probably should have. That her son was named Liam. That his laugh came out like a hiccup when he was overexcited. That she used to do bookkeeping for a small transportation company before life got messy, which was the clean version of a far uglier story. That she worked 3 evening shifts a week at a neighborhood diner and 1 weekend shift at a grocery store. That she always minimized bad things with phrases like it's manageable and we're getting by even when the truth was obvious. The first crack came on the 9th night. Maya had just gotten home from the diner. Her feet hurt. Her lower back hurt. Liam had cried through most of bedtime because his gums were swollen and no amount of rocking had made him forgive the world for teething. She collapsed onto the couch, checked that he was finally asleep, and looked at her phone. Rough night. She typed before caution could catch up. My manager wrote me up for taking a call from the pediatrician during break. Apparently children should only have emergencies during approved business hours. The reply took longer than usual. How long were you in accounting before they laid you off? Maya sat up. She had never said accounting. Never used the word laid off. Her pulse sharpened. Who are you? No answer. She typed again. That wasn't a lucky guess. Who are you? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Reappeared. My name is Gabriel. And before you block me, I should tell you the truth. Her stomach tightened. Your number is 1 digit off from my director of internal audit. His last name is Rowan too. When I mentioned the wrong number message, he realized you're his cousin. He said you used to work in bookkeeping and were very good at it. Maya stared. Ben. Of course. Cousin Ben, who called twice a year and sent Christmas cards that tried too hard to look sincere. She typed slowly. You discussed my messages with a stranger? I discussed a wrong number with someone I trusted. He recognized the details. That's not the same thing. But it's close enough that I understand if you're angry. She was angry. But underneath the anger was something sharper. Exposure. Who exactly are you, Gabriel? This time the answer came without delay. Gabriel Hart. The room went still. Maya knew that name. Everyone knew that name. Gabriel Hart. CEO of Blackwell Therapeutics. Media favorite. Market disruptor. Billionaire. The kind of man whose face appeared on business magazines in airport bookstores and charity galas. She had once served drinks at while pretending not to notice how differently rich people breathed. She actually laughed. It came out thin and unbelieving. You're telling me I accidentally texted Gabriel Hart? Unfortunately, yes. I was hoping my excellent texting manners would delay the panic. That almost made her smile. Almost. You should have told me sooner. Probably. Why didn't you? He took longer to answer this time. Because for a few days, you talked to me like I was a person instead of an institution. That should not have gotten to her. It did. She looked toward Liam's crib, then back at the screen. I need time to think. That's fair, he replied. I won't text again unless you message first. But one more thing. You deserve better than whatever happened after you lost that accounting job. If you ever want a real interview, not charity, I can arrange one. Interview. Not money. Not pity. Work. That scared her more than generosity had. Because money solved tonight. Work changed tomorrow. And tomorrow was harder to trust. She did not answer that night. Gabriel slept badly. Not because he was worried about whether she would text him back. He was used to people leaving, disappointing, or demanding. No, what unsettled him was simpler. He cared whether she did. By afternoon the next day, Maya had still not replied. She fed Liam. Did a load of laundry in the basement while two other tenants argued about a broken dryer. Paid half her electric bill online with money she should have kept. Walked circles around her apartment with Gabriel Hart's name sitting behind her ribs like a lit match. At 4:06 p.m., her phone buzzed. For what it's worth, the interview offer stands. Strictly professional. No favors. No debt. Maya stared at the message for a long time. Then, with Liam asleep on her shoulder and the apartment quieter than her thoughts, she typed one line. One interview. Nothing more. Gabriel exhaled before he realized he'd been holding his breath. One interview, he wrote back. The building that housed Blackwell Therapeutics looked less like a workplace than a judgment. Glass. Steel. Silent elevators. Floors polished enough to punish cheap shoes with reflection. Maya stood inside the revolving doors the following Monday with Liam's diaper bag over one shoulder, her cheapest black coat buttoned to the throat, and her son on her hip because the sitter had canceled 20 minutes before she was supposed to leave. Of course she had. The receptionist's smile flickered when she saw the baby. Can I help you? I'm here for human resources, Maya said, adjusting Liam higher against her hip. Maya Rowan. The woman checked her screen. Something changed in her expression immediately. Of course, Ms. Rowan. Someone will be right down. Someone turned out not to be HR. The private elevator opened, and Gabriel Hart stepped out himself. Maya had seen photographs of him. None of them prepared her for the reality. Tall, dark suit, composed in that expensive, controlled way that made it clear the world was used to shifting for him. But his eyes were more tired than television ever captured. Less polished. More human. More dangerous for exactly that reason. His gaze landed on Liam first, then on her. For one suspended second, neither of them spoke. Then Liam reached for Gabriel's tie and made an approving little noise. Something in Gabriel's face shifted. Briefly, softly. Well, he said, voice low, he's taking this better than you are. Maya straightened. You said professional. So did you. His eyes flicked once to the baby. I didn't know you had no childcare today. Because I didn't until an hour ago. He nodded once. We have an employee support suite on 19. Quiet room, childcare staff, snacks, toys, the kind of infrastructure corporations love advertising and rarely use well. You have that. We have working parents, he said. At least in theory, we try not to punish them for it. That line landed harder than he could have known. Maya hesitated. I'm not asking for special treatment. I know. He held her gaze. I'm removing an unfair disadvantage. That's different. 2 hours later, Maya sat across from HR and a finance director named Tessa, more answering questions she once could have answered in her sleep and now answered through the rusted panic of someone who had spent too long being underestimated. What were her strongest skills? Pattern recognition, reconciliation, quiet anomalies in large systems. The spaces where numbers didn't match because someone somewhere had counted on no one noticing. Why did she leave her last bookkeeping job? She paused. Officially? Staffing reduction. Unofficially? I flagged suspicious vendor duplications and was told I was misreading them. 2 weeks later, I was gone. Tessa's expression sharpened. What kind of duplications? Maya explained. Small, repeated irregularities spread across separate quarters. Low enough individually to look like clerical noise. High enough together to signal intent. Tessa leaned back slowly. Did you document it? Yes. What happened to the documentation? Maya looked at her hands once, then up again. It disappeared before I could make copies. Gabriel, listening from the open office next door like a man who had absolutely no business listening, but every intention of doing so anyway, went very still. When the interview ended, Maya collected Liam from the childcare room, where her son had apparently stared down 3 corporate toys and accepted only the wooden blocks, and was stopped in the hallway by Tessa. We'd like to offer you a 6-week remote contract in accounts review, she said. Not because Mr. Hart knows you. Because you're good. Maya blinked. That quickly. Tessa gave a faint, unreadable smile. Sometimes quick means impulsive. Sometimes it means overdue. In this case, I think it means both. The first week nearly broke her. Not because the work was hard. Because it wasn't. It came back too fast. The rhythm of ledgers. The clean comfort of rows and logic. The satisfaction of finding what didn't fit. What almost broke her was everything around the work. The knowledge that people knew how she had arrived. The subtle glances at her apartment background on video calls. The too bright friendliness of colleagues trying to assess whether she was a pity hire or a favorite. The mid-level finance supervisor, Derek Sloan, who smiled with all teeth and no kindness. The way Gabriel never intervened, which was somehow worse. He watched. Not constantly. Not obviously. But enough. He'd text after hours. Did the spreadsheet survive you? Or in the middle of a call, you haven't eaten. She'd glance at the screen, annoyed. How do you know? Because your patience gets more precise when your blood sugar drops. By the 3rd week, Maya found something she had not expected. A pattern. 3 logistics invoices. 2 duplicate approvals. 6 vendor payments split just below standard review thresholds. Her breath slowed, then sharpened. She checked again. Different names. Same structure. Same deliberate disguise. And one signature looped through the margins too often to ignore. Derek Sloan. Maya sat back from her laptop. No, she whispered. Her palms went cold. She knew this shape. Knew the slick smell of institutional theft. Knew exactly what happened to women who noticed ugly things before powerful men were ready to admit they existed. She should have documented quietly. Instead, because fear has terrible timing, she stayed up past midnight trying to prove herself wrong. That was when Gabriel called. No preamble. You're still working. She looked at the screen. That sounded disturbingly certain. It wasn't a question. She hesitated. His voice changed. More focused. Maya, what did you find? Nothing. Silence. Then, very quietly, don't do that. Do what? Lie smaller than your fear. The line hit harder than it should have. She swallowed. If I tell you, do I become another woman you save because she texted the wrong number? The silence on his end deepened. If you tell me, he said at last, you become the woman I believe. She looked at Liam sleeping beside her on the couch, his stuffed elephant tucked under one arm. Then she opened the file. He was silent while she talked. Truly silent. No interruption. No performance. Just attention. By the time she finished, his voice had gone flat in the way powerful men sound when anger becomes efficient. Who else has seen this? No one. Good. That doesn't sound comforting. It isn't. The next 48 hours detonated slowly. Internal audit locked systems. Tessa vanished into secure reviews. Derek Sloan stopped replying to emails halfway through day 2. Then someone leaked that the anonymous contract worker behind the review was a single mother hired through Gabriel Hart. Everything changed. Her remote access failed twice. Someone sent an unsigned email from a burner account. Women like you should learn when to be grateful and quiet. She deleted it. then looked across the room at Liam's school photo stuck to her fridge with a magnet shaped like a strawberry, and felt something far worse than fear brush the back of her neck. That afternoon, the school called. There was an issue, the office secretary said, voice tight. A man came to pick Liam up. He claimed to be an authorized family friend. Maya's blood went cold. What man? We didn't release him. He left when we asked for ID. But he knew your son's full name. She was already grabbing her coat when the second call came. Gabriel. I'm outside. She barely remembered getting into the car. By the time they reached the school, Liam was safe in the principal's office drawing crooked green dinosaurs with no idea the world had nearly tilted under him. Maya scooped him up so fast he squeaked in protest. It's okay, baby. It's okay. The principal described the man, late 30s, expensive watch, knew Liam's pediatrician's name, said he was helping Ms. Rowan during a work emergency. Maya turned slowly toward Gabriel. I don't know anyone like that. His face changed. Not fear. Calculation. Someone who knows enough to sound credible, he said quietly, but not enough to get him. Maya stared at him, then saw it too. Not random. Targeted. Her voice came out barely above a whisper. Derek. That night, Gabriel moved Maya and Liam into a guest suite at his townhouse under the very polished excuse of temporary safety protocol pending investigation. Maya argued for 11 straight minutes. Then Liam fell asleep on Gabriel's shoulder in the middle of the argument and ruined most of her momentum. She stopped speaking. Gabriel looked down at the sleeping child on his chest, as if someone had handed him a small, breathing paradox. Well, he murmured, not looking up, that's strategically inconvenient. Maya laughed, really laughed. Exhausted, cracked, startled laughter that changed something between them whether either of them admitted it or not. The townhouse wasn't ostentatious the way she'd imagined wealth would be. It was quieter than that. Books, warm lighting, soft rugs, fresh flowers without obvious meaning. A piano in one room no one seemed to play. Staff who spoke to her respectfully because Gabriel clearly expected nothing else. Still, she waited for the imbalance to crush the softness growing underneath it. Not because he was powerful, because he was kind while powerful. That was the dangerous part. By the fourth day, Liam had decided Gabriel was acceptable. This verdict followed a long and solemn test involving wooden blocks, apple slices, and a stuffed elephant that Liam had never before willingly handed to another adult. Gabriel accepted the elephant as if taking office. Mrs. Alvarez, the housekeeper who had apparently decided in the first 24 hours that Maya needed feeding more than privacy, paused in the doorway and said, Sir, the board chairman is online too. Gabriel, crouched on the floor in shirt sleeves helping Liam build a crooked block tower, didn't look up. Tell him I'm in the middle of infrastructure. Mrs. Alvarez looked at the tower, then at Maya, then wisely left. Maya watched from the sofa, something warm and unwelcome unfolding inside her. It got worse that night, when Gabriel finally told her the truth he'd been carrying around his own ribs. At 28, before Blackwell became an empire under his hand, he had been engaged. Her name was Elise. They had a daughter, June, born premature after a difficult pregnancy. One night, during a critical investor meeting, Elise called because June's breathing had changed. Gabriel silenced the call. By the time he got to the hospital, he was too late. June did not survive the night. Elise never forgave him. Neither did he. I built faster after that, he said, standing by the unplayed piano with a glass of untouched water in his hand. Larger, cleaner, untouchable. People called it resilience because they like profitable grief. It was avoidance. Maya sat very still. I'm sorry, she said. He laughed once, without humor. Most people say that like ritual. You said it like recognition. Because she did recognize it. The shape of guilt. The architecture of regret. The terrible way one moment can keep mutating inside the rest of your life. 3 days later, the break came. Not from audit. From her past. Her older sister called. Not because sisters become helpful at convenient times, but because Clara had tracked down old foundation records after Maya. Casually mentioned, during one late-night conversation, that her mother had once talked about a scholarship that vanished. Tessa had quietly cross-referenced the names. The scholarship had existed. Approved in full. For Maya. 8 years ago. Before Liam. Before Mark. Before her life narrowed down to rent notices and inhalers and second shifts. Her mother had never declined it. Mark had. He had intercepted the calls, answered as family contact, then submitted a forged decline email from Maya's old address. Maya sat on the guest bed with the phone pressed to her ear and all the air gone out of the room. Her sister was crying on the other end. Mom found out later. She didn't tell you because by then you were already pregnant, and she thought, God, Maya, she thought it would break you. Break her. It did. Just 8 years late. When she finally walked downstairs, Gabriel took one look at her face and stood. What happened? She handed him the printout Clara had sent. He read it once. Then again. His expression emptied in a way that frightened her more than shouting would have. He knew, she said. Her voice sounded wrong, too thin. He knew I'd been accepted. He knew I could leave. So he made sure I didn't. Gabriel lifted his eyes. Mark Danner. She nodded. Where is he now? She laughed weakly. If I knew, I'd have used the information for child support. Clara found him by morning. Or rather, found his alias. Mark hadn't vanished. He had reappeared 2 years earlier under a different surname as a subcontracted vendor liaison for one of Blackwell's regional supply channels. Minor role. Temporary access. Later terminated over irregular customer data requests no one fully understood at the time. Gabriel read the report and went absolutely still. Maya saw it in his face first. What? He looked up. He didn't just sabotage your scholarship. She felt her body brace. He was part of a data theft ring using flagged patient accounts and vulnerable family billing records. It intersects with the same vendor structure Derek Sloan's fraud ran through. For a second, she couldn't understand the sentence. Then it landed. Mark. Derek. The fake pickup. The threats. The missing scholarship. The same kind of men, dressed differently. The room tilted. All this time, she said, I thought my life just went wrong in small ways. I thought I was tired, unlucky, stupid. I thought I'd missed my chances. No, Gabriel's answer cut through the room like a blade. No, those chances were taken. That was the line that undid her. Not because it fixed anything, because it named it correctly. She bent forward with both hands over her face and cried. Not prettily, not quietly, not in the cinematic way stories like this usually reward. She cried for the nursing program she never got. For the mother who died thinking silence was mercy. For the years she spent apologizing for damage she hadn't created. For the little boy upstairs sleeping in a safe bed while she only now understood how many people had treated his life like collateral. Gabriel didn't touch her at first. He just stayed. When he finally moved, it was only to kneel in front of her and say, very quietly, listen to me. None of this was your failure. Her hands trembled. He continued, it was coercion, fraud, theft, not weakness. Not bad judgment. Not you. She looked up at him through blurred vision. There was no pity in his face. Only fury. And grief. And something steadier than both. It would have been easier if the climax ended there. Life rarely cooperates. The next afternoon, Liam collapsed at preschool. Not unconscious. Worse. He had been trying to run during outdoor play, stopped suddenly, and gone pale enough that the teacher thought he might be choking. Maya was halfway out the front door before the school finished explaining. Gabriel didn't ask if she wanted him there. He was already moving. At the hospital, the tests came fast. Too fast. The pediatric cardiologist, a different one this time, older, less gentle, sat them down with scans and a measured face. Your son's respiratory issues were not just asthma, she said. There's a structural issue we should have caught sooner. He has narrowing that's affecting blood flow. It requires surgery. The room became soundless. Maya heard herself ask, how soon? As soon as possible. The doctor kept talking. Risks. Success. Rates. Recovery. Pediatric team. Monitoring. Language that sounded both terrifying and practiced. Maya stared at the image on the screen without seeing it. Her son. Her boy. The child whose warm forehead she had pressed kisses to just that morning. The child who still called dinosaurs Rars when he was tired. How much? She heard herself ask. The doctor paused. And that pause was answer enough. Gabriel spoke before the silence could bury her. Schedule it. Maya turned to him. No, both men looked at her. The doctor. Gabriel. No, she repeated. You do not get to solve this with your wallet. His face softened, which somehow made it worse. I'm not trying to solve you. Then what are you trying to do? The doctor excused himself with the speed of someone who recognized an emotional blast radius and had no desire to stand in it. Once they were alone, Gabriel said. I'm trying to make sure help doesn't arrive too late again. She stared at him. My daughter died because I believed one meeting mattered more than one call, he said quietly. Do not mistake my money for the reason I'm here. Maya's breath caught. He stepped closer, but not into her space. I'm here because your son matters, he said. Because you matter. Because people have already stolen too much from your life. This does not get added to the list. The room held very still. Then the nurse opened the door. Ms. Rowan, he's asking for you. Everything else vanished. Liam was small in the hospital bed. Too small. His face pale against the pillow, stuffed elephant tucked under his arm, oxygen line beneath his nose. When he saw her, he tried to smile. Mommy. She moved to him immediately. I'm here, baby. Is it bad? There are questions children ask that should be illegal. Maya kissed his forehead. No. It's fixable. Will it hurt? Her throat closed. Gabriel stepped into the room then, but stayed near the door. Liam looked at him and asked, with that fearless bluntness only children have, Are you the text man? For one heartbeat, the room almost smiled. Gabriel nodded once. I am. Liam considered that. Okay, he said. Then don't let mommy cry too much. That finished her. She laughed and sobbed at the same time, pressing her face briefly into the blanket so her son wouldn't have to see all of it. The surgery was set for the next morning. Gabriel stayed. He ignored the board, the acquisition, the market reaction to the internal fraud investigation that had now gone public, and the media circus forming around Derek Sloan's arrest. He stayed through every form, every pre-op consult, every bad coffee, every hour that felt longer than it had any right to. At 3:12 a.m., Maya sat in the waiting room with Liam's elephant in her lap and Gabriel's coat over her shoulders. He was on a call by the far window, voice low, cutting through legal issues like they were paper. Then he ended the call, crossed the room, and crouched in front of her. The school pickup attempt wasn't random. She looked up slowly. What do you mean? Derek Sloan talked. Her entire body went still. He was being pressured by someone outside Blackwell. Someone who wanted you scared enough to back off the review. Who? Gabriel held her gaze. Mark. For a second, the world seemed too neatly cruel to believe. Mark Danner has been using a different name for 2 years, he said. He's tied to the vendor fraud, to the data theft operation, and to Derek. He didn't disappear from your life. He repositioned himself outside it. Maya looked down at the elephant so hard she could see the loose stitches at its ear. He used my life like a rehearsal, she whispered. Gabriel said nothing, because there was nothing to soften that sentence into. Liam's surgery lasted 5 hours. Long enough for Maya to live 3 different futures in her head and lose all of them before the surgeon finally returned. He did well. Relief hit so hard it felt like impact. Maya stood too fast. The room swayed. Gabriel caught her elbow before her knees gave way. He's stable, the surgeon continued. The repair went exactly as we hoped. She covered her mouth. The first sob came out soundless. Later, much later, when Liam was in recovery with color returning to his face and the worst part finally behind them, Maya stepped into the hallway for air. Gabriel followed. Hospital corridors after midnight always feel like confessions waiting for the right sentence. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Maya said, Do you know what scared me most when I first texted you? He glanced at her. That I was an organ trafficker with excellent grammar? That startled a tired laugh out of her. No, that accepting help would put me in debt to something I couldn't survive. And now, she turned toward him fully. Now I know the difference between debt and love. The words hung there. He didn't move. Neither did she. So she kept going, because stopping would have been cowardice and she was tired of living like fear deserved the final word. You didn't save me, she said softly. That's the part one understand now. You didn't save me. You stayed. Through the ugly parts. Through the paperwork. Through the truth. Through my anger. Through my son's surgery. You stayed. His eyes closed once, briefly. When he opened them, something inside him looked terrifyingly unguarded. Maya, I love you, she said. It did not explode. It landed, like something finding the place it had been traveling toward long before either of them had words for it. He stepped closer, touched her face with one careful hand. I think, he said, voice rougher now, I loved you somewhere between formula and forensic accounting. She laughed through tears. That's deeply unromantic. It's very specific. Then he kissed her, softly, carefully, like tenderness should never again be rushed in his life. A nurse passed at the end of the corridor, saw them, and very deliberately pretended not to. 6 months later, the world had not become easy. It had become true. Mark Danner, under his alias and with far less charm than he once believed he possessed, was charged in connection with fraud, coercive interference, data theft, and conspiracy tied to the vendor scheme. Derek Sloan cooperated, which did not save him so much as make his downfall shorter. Blackwell's internal audit reforms made headlines. Tessa was promoted. Clara became even more terrifying, which was apparently possible. Gabriel stepped back from 2 board positions and redirected an entire philanthropic branch toward women whose education or careers had been derailed by coercive partners, medical crises, or hidden financial abuse. Maya did not move into his townhouse. Not immediately. That mattered to both of them. She moved into a small, sunny 2-bedroom apartment 15 minutes from Liam's school, with windows that actually opened and a kitchen table she bought herself. Gabriel sent a plant. Liam named it Carl. Carl nearly died within 3 weeks. Gabriel replaced it with another and called it Carl too. Their relationship didn't arrive in fireworks. It arrived in accumulation. Gabriel learning how to buckle Liam into a car seat and somehow failing the chest clip every single time. Maya texting him pictures of Liam asleep in impossible positions and Gabriel replying, "He negotiates with gravity." Liam asking one Sunday, very seriously, whether Gabriel was rich or just Dr. Rich, and Gabriel answering, "That depends. Are you planning to invoice me?" Maya returning to school 1 course at a time, finishing the accounting certification Mark had once been so eager to bury. One spring afternoon, Maya stood at the window of her apartment and watched the courtyard below. There was Gabriel in rolled-up sleeves on one knee in the grass while Liam stuffed dandelions into his hand with all the authority of a small emperor. Gabriel looked up, found her in the window, and smiled. Not the public smile. Not the polished smile. The real one. Mrs. Alvarez, who had somehow migrated from housekeeper to family by stealth, came to stand beside her. "He looks happy," the older woman said. Maya watched Gabriel lift Liam high enough to make him squeal. "He does." Mrs. Alvarez glanced sideways. "And you?" Maya put a hand over her still flat stomach. 8 weeks. Too early to tell anyone. Too real not to feel. Joy tightened her throat so quickly it almost hurt. "Yes," she whispered. "I really am." Outside, Gabriel lowered Liam, who immediately pointed toward some urgent discovery in the dirt because children and destiny rarely agree on timing. Maya smiled through sudden tears. A simple mistake had changed her life. Not because money had rescued her. Not because power had chosen her. But because one night, when shame was louder than hope and hunger had already started making decisions for her, kindness answered a message it didn't have to answer. And somewhere between survival and trust, between truth and justice, between the child who needed surgery and the woman who needed her future returned, the world remembered something both of them had almost forgotten. Sometimes destiny does not arrive like lightning. Sometimes it arrives as a wrong number in the dark, asking for $20 and accidentally finding its way home.